Okay, today's topic is going to be factors. Working with this video, you will have a worksheet, which I will show you. Should look like this. You should be working on this as I go along in the video, and I will reference this worksheet and show you where to fill in as we go along. So make sure your name is on there, and we will get started. So today we're working with factors, and first let's talk about what is a factor. A factor is a number used in a multiplication sentence. Okay, and what does that mean? Well, here's an example. In the number sentence, 4 times 3 equals 12. 4 and 3 are both factors. They are factors of 12. They are numbers used in a multiplication sentence. Okay, so on your worksheet, you are now going to fill out number 1, and I'll show you. Okay, you're going to fill out underneath what is a factor. You're going to fill in the 2 blanks by looking at the screen. Again, a factor is a number used in a multiplication sentence. Okay, I'm going to move on. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that, so that way you can write this down on your sheet for number 1. I just wanted to talk about this example one more time because I did actually want you to write this example down. For the example on your sheet, I would like you to write this one. 4 times 3 equals 12. So, it's also part of number 1 where it says example. I want you to write the same example, 4 times 3 equals 12, except for instead of having them in red, I want you to circle the factors. Okay, so you're going to have 4 times 3 equals 12, and you're going to circle the 4 and the 3 on your paper, so that way you know that that 4 and the 3, those are the factors that we're talking about. Okay, so on your sheet now, you should have filled out number 1, both blanks, and you should have written the example, all seen here on this page. Again, if you need to pause, go ahead and do so. Okay, so what are factors? How do we use them? Well, let's start by using some examples. Let's talk about what are the factors of 12. Okay, that's what we get asked. What are the factors of 12? What are the factors of 2? What are the factors of 17? What are the factors of 20? Okay, and what we're going to learn is how to find them, how to calculate them. So when people say, what are the factors of 12? What they're really asking is, what numbers can I multiply together to make 12? Okay, so no one asks you, what are the factors of any number? They're asking you, what numbers can I multiply together to get that number? So let's think, how can we find them? Let's take a look at our multiplication chart here. Screen. So if I'm trying to find the factors of 12, as you can see here, I looked on my multiplication chart and I found all the places where I see a 12 inside my multiplication chart, okay? So I see 12 here, a 12 here, a 12 here, a 12 here. Okay, now I need to find the factors of 12. Okay, so I'm finding the numbers that when multiplied together equal 12. So this tells me that 3 and 4 can be multiplied together to equal 12. Okay, you can see, you can trace this back to the 4, trace this up to the 3. That tells me that 3 is a factor of 12, and 4 is also a factor of 12. You can see I have another 12 here. I can trace that back to the 4 and trace that back to the 3. We already have those on our list, so we don't need to put them. Then I have another 12 here that I've highlighted. I can trace this back to a 6 and a 2. Okay, so 6 is a factor of 12, and 2 is a factor of 12. And then over here, I have 12 itself and 1. Okay, so 12 is actually a factor of itself. Every number is a factor of itself. And 1 is a factor of it. Okay, 1 is always a factor of everything. So now let's take a look at our sheet here. We can look at number 2, and it says factors of 12. So what I want you to do is take a look here, what we just listed, and write down these factors. 3, 4, 6, 2, 12, and 1. All of these numbers can be used to multiply and make 12. Okay. I'm going to move on. Again, if you need to, pause the video to write down these numbers. Now we're going to find the factors of 24. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find all the spaces on here where I see 24. Okay, so I see a 24 here, and here, and here, and here, and there. Okay, good. So I'm looking at my multiplication chart to see all the places that I see 24. Now, this helps me find the factors. I can trace back to see what numbers are being multiplied to make this 24. So here, 3 and 8 are making 24. So a 3 is a factor of 24, and 8 is a factor of 24. Same thing here. I can trace this back to see 4 and 6. Okay, good. So both 4 and 6 can be multiplied to make 24. Okay, here's another one. This is a 6 and a 4. We already have 6 and 4 on our list. I'm not going to rewrite them. This is an 8 and a 3 again. I already have those on my list, so I don't need to rewrite them. And then I have 12 and 2. Those can be multiplied to make 24. So I have 12 and 2. And then my last one that's not actually shown on here is, like I said before, for 12, every number has a factor of 1 and itself. So 1 will be on every list, and itself, so in this case 24, will be on the list. Okay? So now take a look at your worksheet. We are working on number 3. It says factors of 24. So for factors of 24, so numbers that you can multiply together to equal 24, you're going to write this list that I've made here on the side. 3, 8, 4, 6, 12, 2, 1, and 24. Okay, I'm going to move on. Pause the video if you need to. Okay, another example, finding the factors of 3. Now, if you notice, some numbers have more factors than others, okay? 24 had more factors than 12. Okay, 3, we're going to find out, does not have a lot of factors. Okay, so we have 3, 3, and that's it. Okay, so now I'm going to look. I can trace this 3 back to 3 itself, and 1, and 1, and 3. So my only factors for 3 are itself, 3, and 1. 3 only has 2 factors, itself and 1. So again, take a look at your worksheet. For number 4, you're going to write the factors for 3 that I've just listed, 3 and 1. That's your whole list. Okay, our last part here is the last few questions on your worksheet. Okay, so I'll show you them before I explain. So right here it says steps for finding factors. These are the blanks that you're filling in as I'm talking. Okay, so these are the blanks you're working on for number 5. So steps for finding the factors. First, we're going to look for our target number. So in our case, our target number was 12, 24, and 3. Those were our target numbers. So we're going to look for our target number on our multiplication chart. Then we're going to see which numbers the target number is connected to. Okay, so that's when we traced back to see what they were connected to. Okay, that's the second step. And number 3, we're going to write down both of the numbers that we can trace it back to. Okay, so let's take a look at 24 again. So we found the 24 here. That was our target number, okay, because we were looking for the factors of 24. So we're at 24, and we traced it back, okay? So we're at the 3, and we traced it back, and the 8. So then we listed 3 and 8. When those are multiplied together, they make 24. Okay. So now, make sure you have filled this in on your sheet. Okay, and make sure your sheet is completed before you are finished watching the video. That is our introduction to factors.